Hi and welcome everyone. This is the Osiris Media Group channel. I am your host Jason. Thank you for joining me today. All right, so today I want to talk about telemarketing and telemarketing your business. So if you're going to grow a business, the cheapest and most effective way that you can grow your business from scratch with no money is to learn how to telemarket. If you don't want to telemarket, then you better be prepared to spend some money to go out there and to get clients. Okay, I hate telemarketing, but I'm really good at it because not only have I done it in business, but I used to do it as a profession. I've been a salesman in one form or fashion for the last 20 plus years, and when it comes to telemarketing, it's just sales over the phone. So I have been really good at it. I even get paid for it from time to time because my skills are pretty good. I mean, you cannot have high expectations when you go into telemarketing. Okay, so now that we've got that covered, let's go into some basics that you need to understand about telemarketing before you pick up that phone the first time and make your first call. Okay, if you are calling just a random list, like you went down to the printer and you said, okay, I need a list of 2,000 names and I want them to hit this demographic. This is cold calling, okay? Versus like you have a website and somebody calls you up or puts in contact information. That is considered a warm telemarketing call because you've never talked to each other. You're not even sure if you're going to do business. Your whole purpose is to call and show them why doing business with you is much more lucrative or will save them more money or time or effort, uh, that they're going to choose to go with you. Okay, it's still a sales call. One is warm, one is cold. The other thing is when you're dealing with a cold list, do not expect to be able to set 20 appointments for every 100 numbers you call. For every 100 numbers you call, you will probably make about 60 contacts. And out of those 60 contacts, 20 of them, maybe 30 of them, will not hang up on you within the first 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, the remainder, like 20 or 30 of them, those are the ones that sit back and listen. And then from that, maybe you might get two or three. So if you're first starting out and you're rusty, expect one per 100 dials that you make. And consider that to be lucky. It took me a while to learn how to do this because, like, the first job I had, uh, they had me working for a week and I set maybe I was probably making 200 dials a day. This is manual dialing. I was probably making about 200 dials a day, and I was maybe setting one or two appointments. And I thought I was doing good. Turns out I wasn't. Well, it took me about a week before I actually started getting good at it. And then all of a sudden, because there are things at play here in the universe that you can use to your advantage, such as the law of averages. You make so many calls, you're gonna get better by this much, and this is how the world is gonna work. Okay, so next thing I know, at the end of that week, I start producing more appointments per day than all of my colleagues around me. And I'm sitting there going, oh, what's going on here? Well, I had to learn how to talk to the customer. I had to learn what the different objections were. I had to be able to be fluid and have a response that didn't leave very much time for dead air, but still continuously engage the client. These are the things that you will learn just by the repetitive nature. And it may take 500 calls before you set your first appointment. Do not be discouraged because you know what? The longer it takes you to set your first appointment, the better you're going to be. Because you just learn differently, but once you find that sweet spot, man, you're off to the races. Because that's the thing, you're looking for that sweet spot. It's not about what you say, it's how you convey yourself. Do you sound desperate? Do you sound like a snake oil salesman? Do you sound scripted? These are the things that you need to be prepared for when you're about to do telemarketing. Okay, now, you decided that, well, you're too broke to go to spend $50 for a list through your printer for maybe 500 or 1,000 names and numbers. So what you're going to do is you're going to figure out what genre of company you want to work with. So now that I'm starting a media business, you know, low hanging fruit for this industry from my research is that I can go do listing videos for real estate agents. So guess what? I had to pick up the phone. I had to go type in real estate on Google, pick up the phone, and start calling people. Okay. Now, I was just, playing around. I made maybe 7 calls. I talked to 2 people. The second person set the appointment. But I was offering a free service. I will come out and do a listing video for you for free so that I can get my teeth cut. See, that's so when you're deciding what it is that you want to do, or like how you want to convey yourself, you have to have a real conversation with somebody. The better you are at just having a random conversation, not like, "Hi, how you doing? How's the weather?" Da 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 da, and inducing them into a conversation. You want the reason why you're calling to naturally induce them into a conversation. So, for example, I here's an example of what it's like reading a script versus going not really ad lib, but creating a conversation. So I ended up setting appointments for a health insurance agent, and so I would call up and I'd say, "Hi, my name's Jason. I'm calling from the benefits department. I am calling about the information that you submitted. Let's go ahead and ask you a few questions so that I can get an underwriter out to look at your situation." Okay, that's not exactly what I said, but it was pretty much the gist. And when you sound scripted, it really slows down because people start to automatically tune you out. Okay, and versus I had a company, their script was so crappy. It was poor English, broken English, and I sat back and I read over it. And it was really interesting. It was a chat bot for real estate agents. So what did I do? Instead of calling up and being like, "Yeah, hi, we're calling to assist with the coronavirus," no, I looked at it. Okay, so their pain point is to assist other real estate agents in recovering their lead source or recovering their lead volume to pre-pandemic levels. Okay, and so the first couple of calls I stumbled, but see, that's pretty much what I said is, "Hi, my name's Jason. I'm calling with Agent iChat, and what we're doing is we're reaching out." Notice how I said reaching out. I'm not calling. I'm reaching out to the local real estate agents to let them know that there is a way for them to be able to recover the lead volume that they had pre-pandemic. How is your current lead volume right now? Notice how I led in with a statement, my purpose, and then I immediately asked a question. That automatically engages them into a conversation. Okay? Just like when I called and I was like, "Hi, my name's Jason. I'm starting up a videography business, and I need to get my teeth cut on doing filming and editing. And you, as a real estate agent, it would benefit you to have a listing video. I'm willing to do it for free so that I can get my teeth cut and get the experience. If you like the work, leave a review. You can have the content. If you don't like it, well, then it means I got to go back to the drawing board. So will you help me?" Notice how I asked them. Well, my call to action is help. Now, in sales and in telemarketing, the first thing that you will ever learn, it's just kind of like this little human trick, is that if you ask for help, like when I was selling magazines door to door, "Oh, I'm in a contest. Will you help me? Help me win this contest." That was the whole sales pitch. It didn't matter what you said around it as long as you mentioned the contest and you asked for help with the contest. But they were bringing in kids that were like 21 to 18, so that they could sell magazines so that they could exploit their youthfulness. Because quite frankly, it was an ingenious idea. I mean, magazines are sold all across this country using that method. I'm in a contest. Please help me. Okay. You know, the thing is people want to help you. Because it's in our nature. Humans are good by nature, regardless of what other people say. It's the other crap that makes us POSs. Okay, so back on topic. Now let me give you the perspective of, okay, now I being the business owner, when I first started my cleaning business, I would get calls and I would entertain it because I was in my first few months. It's like, I don't know, maybe I might need what it is that you're selling. So at least let me get some let me get to know what it is that's being sold to me so I can sit there and ponder and decide if this works for me. And so I would get calls, and most of the calls that you get for a business is, we want to be your digital marketer. And they always start out and go, your Google listing isn't verified. Let us verify your lead. It's a bunch of bullshit. At first, it got me. It gets the young and stupid business owners. It doesn't get the seasoned business owners who get 30 calls like that every single day. You don't want to answer your phone because all you're getting is telemarketing calls. I get 3 or 4 business calls a day. The other 90 calls I get throughout the day are telemarketing calls. That's why when you're making these phone calls and you're calling and you're talking to a business owner, you need to have empathy for that situation. Because here's the thing. I get 90 calls a day. Okay? And there's still 2 or 3 that slip through my defense mechanism because they call up and they engage me in an instant conversation. They do, hi, how are you? It's like, don't ask, what do you need? That's my response. What are you selling me? Because when somebody asks, hi, how are you? That is a natural salesman. It's something that you're taught, but it is probably the most detrimental thing that you can do when you're over the phone. Versus if somebody called up and said, hey, Jason, I'm calling about your video advertising. Do you do any video advertising? That right there, even if it is a telemarketing call, which I know it's a telemarketing call because he's calling me up, telling me that I do telling me that he helps people with this solution, and ask, do you even do this? Like, do I even need to do business with you? Now that gives me the choice to engage. No, I haven't, but I've been thinking about it because digital marketing is too one-dimensional for me, okay? If somebody would have called me up and said something like that, I would have been like, I would have engaged him in the conversation. And then they could have gone throughout their script and said, hey, look, so what we do is we look at the goal that you're trying to accomplish, and we put together some media content that will showcase that goal and to help you get the results you want. What we need to do is just come out, take a look so that we can do a bid, and then you can decide if this is for you. Notice how you're telling them, I want to do this, but then you're leaving the decision in their hands. Because the thing is when you tell somebody to do something, yes, we are ingrained. When you're closing a sale is different than when you're telemarketing. When you're closing a sale, you tell the person, go get your checkbook. Okay, let me repeat that. When you're sitting down with somebody and you're doing sales, that is when you can give them direct orders. Go get your checkbook. Okay, but when you're telemarketing, you're still establishing that relationship. They like you enough to be able to get into a conversation. However, they don't like you enough to follow your orders. So here's what you do is you give them choice. Hey, so when I would get down to the closing point in the agent iChat one, what I would do is I would say, okay, so what day and time next week do you have available? So we've got a starting point to haggle out a time in both our schedules where we can meet next week. Well, I got Wednesday, but I'm only open in the morning. Before what time? Okay. See, here's another thing. If you're setting appointments, okay, there are ways to lead them down the path to make the appointment more solid. So I learned this in my cleaning business. Okay. So, hey, I need you to come out. I need you to bid I need you to bid my 75,000 square foot indoor amusement park, and I need it cleaned daily. And, I want to do this, and this. Okay, great. I need to come out and do a bid. When would be a good time tomorrow for me to come out? Oh, wow, you can come out tomorrow? Or they would say, well, is there any way you can come out today? No, I'm sorry. I don't do same day appointments because I'm already out in the field working. I have to schedule some time out. So tell me, what time tomorrow would work for you? Morning or afternoon? Okay, so I'm already getting them to commit of what's something that works for them because they know themselves. And people aren't naturally liars. So they're going to sit back and they're going to give you an honest answer up front if they answer quickly. If they sit back and they think about it, I get a little bit nervous, but you know what? That person probably is a little bit more intuitive to their schedule. So, what time tomorrow works for you? Morning or afternoon? Well, I can't do tomorrow, but I can do Thursday in the morning before 11. Perfect. I'll be there Thursday at 9. How does that work for you? Notice how I already told him, okay, I'll be there. Is that going to work for you? Because you just told me I had to be there Thursday before 11. I just want to make sure that's going to work for you. That is how you solidify the appointment at the end of the day. Okay, John, so I'm going to come out on Thursday morning. I'm going to do a bid. We're going to do a walkthrough. I'm going to ask you some questions. So now what I've done is I'm setting some expectations. So you're going to have at least 15 to 20 minutes to walk around the building with me and show me all the details, right? Well, yes. Okay, perfect. I will see you Thursday at 9 a.m. Okay, see you then. And then you're off the phone. You notice how I slowly worked them down into the commitment of the appointment because I let them make the choice and then I let them make a choice again and again and again. And they're like, by the time you've gotten off that call, they've already convinced themselves or already said it that this is an important appointment because of how many times you solidified it. Okay, you're just repeating the appointment date and time so it gets in their head. You need to repeat it a minimum of 3 times in order for it to stick in this noggin. Okay. So if you are a business and you are wanting to do telemarketing and you're wanting to telemarket your business to get started and off the ground, I hope that this information helped you out and that you can put this information to work if you can and if you did. Please like and share and leave me a comment and let me know how it worked for you and how it changed your overall stats. Okay? Because, this is an important part of how you build your business.